Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day today. I've had a good day. I got to go to church this morning and go to worship and had a good day worshiping and spending time with other church members. It was a busy weekend this weekend. We went yard selling yesterday. It was a pretty busy day yard selling. We picked up a lot of really good items. There were three neighborhood yard sales, and we only actually made it to two of them because we were so busy going to the different yard sales. There were so many yard sales in all of the neighborhoods that we went to that we weren't able to get to them all. So we had a really busy weekend, picked up a lot of really great things for listing. And so I'm real excited about getting those things listed. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's been a pretty strange couple of weeks with eBay. I've had a couple of really good days, and I've had a couple of really bad days in selling. It's kind of weird. We're in the third quarter, so usually the third quarter means that you're going to have a lot more eBay traffic coming to your site, to your store, looking at your store, and so that would mean that you would also have additional sales. So my sales have still been, even despite the couple of bad days that I had, my sales have still been really good. I'm really happy with what I've got in sales so far. Forgive me, I had to move this pillow. My wife saw this at a yard sale this past weekend, and I'm an Air Force veteran. This is actually the old symbol that the Air Force used to use. And so she got it for me to kind of use as a back support in my chair, on my chair. So it is a really good pillow for back support. I've been using this one that I got when I was in Texas. I bought that one at the one of the thrift stores in Dallas, and it has I think this is genuine cowhide on this pillow. I think I'm going to move this pillow to another chair and use my Air Force pillow for this chair. Sir Alfred, welcome. I'm not familiar with you, with your name. If you would introduce yourself, it's good to see you on here tonight. Good to see you. And welcome, Rat's Stash. My friends Renee and Todd, how are you guys doing tonight? It's good to see you on here tonight. Let me see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit. It seems like it's a little bit high tonight. There we go. That's a little bit better. My wife also bought me this really nice Hawaiian t-shirt, Hawaiian shirt. I love this shirt that she got me. It was brand new with tags, and she got it at a yard sale for $3. So I was really glad to get that. Looks like we've got some more folks in here tonight, and it's good to see everyone. And speaking of the Rats, Renee and Todd, we will be broadcasting live next Sunday at 6:30 from Pennsylvania, and we will be doing our live stream from Pennsylvania from the Rats Den down in their basement. I've made a special request of Renee and Todd that we do our live stream from their basement. They've got some 70s carpet that I'm really fond of. I like to kind of joke with them about it because you don't see that kind of stuff in houses anymore, and I think that retro is really unique and neat. I love it. Ping G, welcome, and good to see you on the chat again today. Welcome back. Did you watch Did you watch Wolfman's Goodies tonight? I was watching him in the background, but I was busy listing tonight because I had to get a few items listed, so I didn't make any comments. But Chad, if you're on tonight, I hope you're able to watch tonight. I didn't hear from you last weekend, so maybe you were watching in the background. But anyway, it's good to have all of you guys on here tonight. And tonight I'm going to give you an update on my store progress. Ping G, yes, I came over from Chad's show. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the store progress on eBay. eBay, like I said, when I first got on, has been kind of weird recently. I don't know if you all have experienced that. If you have, I would welcome your comments and for you to chime in and tell me what your experiences have been. But I had a couple of days where, I mean, this is the first time it's happened all year where I had 2 days with zero sales, and that's something that rarely, I mean, has not happened this year and rarely has ever happened. But I had 2 days without any sales, and I had in the last couple of days, I've had over $1,000 of sales in just the last couple of days. I'm going to ask my friends Renee and Todd if they can chime in. They had a really amazing sale. Let me see if I can pull it up on my cell phone. They were so excited to send this to me. But what it was is they had this Evil Knievel doll, and if I'm making any mistakes in my description of this whole thing, then correct me. But they had this Evil Knievel doll, and apparently someone saw it in their thrift store or at some kind of event. Maybe it was the paper show, and told them that thing was actually very valuable, that they didn't need to be listing it for what they were listing it for. And I can't remember exactly what you guys said you were listing it for, but I'm going to see if I can hold this up. She sent me this Evil Knievel doll. She sent it to me, sold for $325, and it's mint in the box. So that was a really good deal that they got that. So I think Renee and Todd may actually be new eBay addicts. And if you're not, you should be, because having a sale like that is incredible. It's a lot of fun when you run across items that you didn't know were valuable, and then you look them up and you find out that they actually have a lot of value. And then when you list them on eBay, they sell very quickly. So you kind of wonder sometimes, did you actually sell it for less than you could have got for it? So Renee and Todd said, took granddaughter's garbage picking tonight. We got a 4-foot dollhouse. Wow. Okay. Well, I wish you luck in selling that. And they said Evil Knievel doll, mint in box, sold for $325. So that was a wonderful sale. Had it at the paper show for $40. So you should probably tip the person who let you know that was actually more valuable than you thought, because they could have bought it and they already knew what the value of it was, and they could have turned around and sold it for, they could have made over $200 off of that if they had bought it from you. So I don't know if that's what generated your question on your live stream last Monday about your ethics question about, would you tell somebody something had more value than it actually did. I think that guy was doing you a huge favor. I don't think he had any ethical obligation to tell you that, but he was such a nice person to do that for you and keep you from losing money. They could have thankful they were our friends. Yeah. So yeah, that was really good that they let you know. But I would always say if you're an eBay seller, or if you buy to resell and you run across any kind of vintage item, any kind of vintage, especially toys from the 70s or the 80s, people are in their 40s and 50s from that era that had those toys, and they're looking to see if they can reclaim a little bit of their childhood. So a lot of times they will pay big money for that sort of thing. And so if you run across that, always be sure and look that up to see what the value of the sold value is of that item before you actually list it, or before you try to sell it anywhere else. So tonight I'm going to start with giving you a little bit of an update on my store performance. I don't know if my screen is freezing on you guys or not, but it looks like it's freezing on my side sometimes. I hope that's not affecting uh, your ability to watch. All right, I'm going to start with the sales for the year, starting in January of this year to October 13th, which is today's date. So as of today's date, my store has sold $40,720.36 worth of stuff. And we're just starting third quarter, so I'm expecting another $20,000 in sales between now and the end of the year. Of course, I'm going to be gone next week. I'll be up in Pennsylvania, and I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So my store will be on vacation mode, but hopefully I will be able to continue to sell items while I'm on vacation. I'll just put it on vacation mode, and people can still buy items while I'm away, or time away is what it's called. But what I want to do is I want to take a bunch of photographs of some easy to list items. I've got a bunch of CDs and DVDs that are brand new, and I can just take some photos of those and scan the barcode and start making some drafts. So what I want to do is I want to make about 70 drafts while I'm gone. And so while I'm gone, I can go back into my store, and I can list 5 items a day still, even though I'll be on time away, and I won't be actually listing new stuff that I've never taken photos of. I'll just be listing stuff that I've already taken photos and have drafts in my database. So that's what I plan on doing during the time that I'm away, is listing those items. But I'm also going to be going to my items that will be ending, and I will go to the items that will be ending each day, and I will end those items, and I will sell, and I will relist them or sell similar. And so that'll give me more listings. So it'll look like I'm listing about 50 or 60 items a day, even though I'll only be listing about 5 new items a day. So that may be something that I'm going to start doing a lot more in the near future, because I found that when I end items that are already going to be ending on every day, and I end them and then I relist them or sell similar, that my sales have been really picking up. And I think that has had a lot to do with that. I've also been getting a lot more new watchers on items that already had watchers, but the items just weren't selling. Okay, and I'm trying to catch up with awesome sales, Sam. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You can use my white box and buy stuff from our garage. Yeah, I definitely plan on picking the rats' stash while I'm there, either in their house or in their they've got 3 different locations in the thrift stores, or in the flea markets, I should say. Plus, you have the huge flea market at Jake's next Sunday. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm planning on making a video showing some updates of some stuff that I have done to my van. If you watched my van build video that I released this week, you if you remember, there was a safe that I showed in the video. It's like a little small safe, and it's got a key that I used to open it. But what I'll probably be doing, I've already taken that and bolted that down to the ground, down to the floor of the van. So there's no way anybody can steal it out of my van. So I got some self-driving bolts, nuts, that I was able to take my electric cordless screwdriver and drive those nuts into um, the bottom of the safe, into the bottom of the van, so it's not going to be going anywhere. Welcome, Marty. Good to see you on here tonight. Hope you're having a great night. But yeah, the store has been doing really well the last couple of days, and I think that the ending and selling similar has had a lot to do with that. So taxes and fees collected by eBay is $2,513.24 this year so far. My selling cost this year is $12,859.42. I remember when my selling costs weren't even, I remember when my net sales for the entire year wasn't that much. So that's 31.6% of your total sales. This is my fourth, going into my fourth year of selling on eBay. I think I've completed about 3 years of selling on eBay. Now I'm starting my fourth year of selling on eBay. But it's increased incrementally every year since I've started selling, and so I've kind of learned a lot of the tricks of the trade along the way, and that has really helped with sales. But I've also done some things to try to promote my listings, taking better photos. Photos, the quality of your images is really important when you're taking photos for eBay. Make sure you take clear, crisp photos and use a white background if at all possible. And if you can avoid it, don't use anything in the background. Just use a flat white background, and that usually helps with selling stuff. I kind of broke that rule about a week ago. I was at a yard sale, and we had brought an air purifier that we were going to let them sell in the yard sale. But I started looking up the value of that air purifier while we were sitting there, and I decided that I wouldn't sell that in the yard sale for Carol's program where they rescue animals. It is called what is it called? What is her group called? I can't think of it right now, but it's an animal rescue program, and they rescue animals. So it was a fundraiser for that. And while I was sitting there, I looked it up, and I was like, I need to list this on my store. So I just took some pictures of it right there where we were and went ahead and listed it on my store, and it has already sold. So, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm saying you need a white background, but occasionally I guess it would be okay to not have a white background. In that particular case, it worked for me. But net sales is $25,347.70. So that is the actual amount of money that I've brought home. So that says that's 44.5% higher than the prior year. 576 items sold, and the average sales price is $70.70. $232.79 was through auction, and $40,487 was through fixed price. I list most of my items on eBay at a fixed price, so I don't sell very much at auction. I'd say 99.9% of my items are sold via fixed price. Now, I did have some repeat buyers. Looks like my repeat buyers, I've had 10 repeat buyers. I haven't started doing that. Maybe you all could chime in, and if any of you are doing this, but are y'all sending coupons to your buyers to get repeat buyers? I'm just curious about that. I have not sent any coupons, and I've seen that option, and I know some people do send coupons, but my repeat buyers is up 233.3%. The one-time buyers is 545 people for our 545 buyers, and that's up 30.7% of the last year during the same period. So what have I sold so far this year? What is the majority of the stuff that I have sold? Renee from Rat Stash said, yes, we do have coupon codes. And how's that working for you? Do you think it's increasing your sales, or have you not seen any difference? Be interesting to hear. So the top categories, if you've been watching my live streams when I go through sales, is video games and consoles, $11,090.56 in video games and consoles. Jewelry and watches is $1,324.44. So that's up 1,000% from last year. The consoles and the video games is only up 173% from last year. Toys and hobbies, $994.05. That's up 100% from last year. Toys and hobbies, then the other one would be cars, trucks, vans, vintage, manufactured. This one is action figures and accessories, is $968.27, and that's up 151%. Now my video games themselves, I have gone down in. They're at $937.83, which is 55.5% less than last year, and there's a reason for that. One of the reasons for that is I have stopped really selling video games by themselves. If you've been watching me, you know that I bundle a lot of my video game consoles that I sell with video games. So I've been taking a lot of my video games that were listed off my store and putting them with consoles. Rats says Rats 2024 is 20% off. Okay. That's your coupon code that you use, is Rats 2024. Cameras and photos, $820.94, 325% up. Clothing and shoes, and that would be camcorders and cameras. Clothing and shoes and accessories, that's mainly men's shoes, is $804.06, 67% more than last year. And collectibles is 802%. And then you can see it goes down to dolls and bears, video games and consoles, that would be controllers, sporting goods, movies. And I haven't sold a whole lot of these, and I've covered this in previous live streams, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going down the line with these like I have in the past. But let's go to my monthly sales, where you can see kind of how it's doing on a monthly basis. January started off kind of slow with $2,662 in sales, and the reason for that is 3 weeks out of January I was traveling, and I went to Texas, and I went to Arizona. I went to Texas first, went to Arizona, then went to Las Vegas, and then ended up coming back. But I was on the road for 3 weeks, and so that would account for low sales in January. But my first week of sales in January was very strong. If I had been here for the other 3 weeks, I'm sure it would have been a very good month for me. The total sales for February went up to $4,519.42. The sales for March was $4,702. And then it went down a little bit in April to $3,522. May went up again to $4,575. And then June, that was the summer slowdown, went down to $3,090.72. Then it went back up in July to $4,996. August went to $5,194.29. And then September was $4,804.77. So I'm averaging pretty close to $5,000 a month, which I feel like that's a pretty good number to be at. And so far, October, we're at October 13th, and I've already got $2,651.45. So October is coming in pretty strong. My selling cost was $12,859.42. Out of that, eBay fees was $8,342.72, which was 64.9% of my selling costs. That's pretty high. Shipping labels was $4,516.70, which is 35.1% of my selling cost. And total selling cost was $12,859.42. So you can see the majority of my selling cost was eBay fees. That was 64.9%. And just for the heck of it, let's do a little check here. I'm gonna 40,720.36 as of today. Let's look at what I was doing this time last year at the exact same time. So at the same time last year, I was at $28,323.18. So based on that, Rat Stash, they said, yes, sadly, I have to go. Girls need a bath and bedtime. Cannot wait to see you. Well, thank you guys for joining tonight. Hopefully, Todd can continue to watch and maybe make comments. Hope you guys are doing good tonight. It's good to see you on here. Okay, where was I at? Last year, I had only sold 70 items by this same time as during the same period last year. I'm sorry, correction. I had 427 items sold at the same time last year. Well, let's jump into my sales for this month and kind of go over how much I've been selling this month. So far this month, actually for the last 31 days, not necessarily this month. It starts September 13th, so we're looking at the last 31 days. My sales have been $5,771.41, which is 30% higher than my prior time period. Taxes and fees is $334.13. Selling cost is $1,637.21. So my net sales, which is the actual amount that I was able to bring home, was $3,800.07. 70 items were sold at an average sales price of $82.45. So my average sales price has increased in the last month by $12. And the sales by fixed price was $5,771.41. So again, video games and video game consoles has topped the chart as the number one selling item at $1,760.40. Jewelry and watches. I've been picking up some watches at yard sales that have done very well. $409.18. And then I also had a couple of those high-end watches that I picked up at a private pick that sold and did very well. Collectibles is $292.44. Video games, $280.83. Toys and hobbies, $215. So let's look at the month of September, between September 13th and October 13th, which is today, and kind of see how the sales have gone. We've been all over the board with sales, starting with Friday, September 13th at $95.41 for the day. And then I had a day without any sales. Then it went down to $78. So my highest sales day was September 21st at $584.73. And then my lowest sales day would be September 14th and October 5th and October 9th, where I had zero sales. And looks like I may be mistaken about having 2 days without zero sales. It looks like I just had 1 day without zero sales. So I probably had a sale after midnight, and it just felt like it was 2 days without any sales. So you can see in the last 3 days, though, it's been really good. The sales have been really good, and I think a part of that has had to do with the fact that I have been every day for the last 3 days, I have been ending the items that would have been ending in my store anyway, and then selling similar and just relisting those items using the sell similar thing that you can do on there. So $422.88 in sales today. That we've had a pretty good day today on the sales. Yesterday sales was $360.49, and then on Friday the sales were $288.17, and Thursday the sales were $146.68. So it's been a pretty good couple of days. A lot of items have sold in the last couple of days. I've got 10 items that I have pending that need to go out tomorrow morning. So that's going to keep me pretty busy in the morning when I go to get everything packaged up and ready to ship. So let's talk about, let me share with you what has sold so you can see what sold in the last couple of weeks. These are some items I was listing today. Had a pirate hat. These are some things I picked up at the yard sale this weekend. I found some really good video games over the weekend, and one of them, to my surprise, was worth about $250. But let me see if I can show you that real quick. These are my items that I relisted from the sell similar. Okay, here the games are. These are the games, the high-end games that I found at the yard sale this past weekend. I paid $20 for all of the video games together, but there's some heavy hitters in the games that I got. So I did list those individually rather than putting them with a bundle, because I would have lost a lot of money if I hadn't looked them up and put them and went ahead and put them in a bundle with console. But I had this BMX. These are all GameCube games that were really high value. BMX Triple X. This one had no manual. It's listed for $53.99. Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is the GameCube game, $71.99, and that had the manual with it. Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, complete in box with manual, $62.09. And the Time Splitters, Future Perfect, these are all GameCube games. Complete in the box with the manual was $58.50. But this is the one that really made my day. It's Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for the GameCube. It was complete in the box, and it had the manual as well. And it listed for $269.99. I hope it sells, because that's what the comp said it was worth. So I listed it for that. So I hope that it sells quickly. But if it doesn't, I'm sure that the right buyer will eventually come along and purchase it. So let's go on to the sales item, the sold items, and show you what has sold. Today I had 2 items sell, which was a pretty good deal. Over $400 in items sold today. So this is the first item that sold. It was a Sennheiser wireless HDR 195 headphone with TR195 transmitter. It was I tested it, and it is working. And this item I picked up at a yard sale last weekend, and I paid $10 for it. I didn't realize it was as valuable as it was, but it's a wireless headset. And when I looked it up, it had pretty good sold comps and pretty high sell-through rate. And if you don't know what a sell-through rate is, that's where when you look it up, you want to look at your sold comps. That's the items that have actually sold. And you want to see how many of those have sold. Then you want to compare that with the number that are listed. If there are 10 listed and 20 sold, then you've got a 200% sell-through rate. If 10 are listed and 5 sold, then you have like a 25% or 25%, so 50% sales through rate. So this one had the manual and everything that came with it. So I even put a picture of the original sales receipt, and you can see that this item originally sold here in Montgomery for, let me see if I can get this thing to slide over here. It sold for $219.88, and it was $227.31 with tax. That's what the original owners had to pay for it when they bought it. So I was very fortunate that they were willing to let me have that for $10. The next item I sold was a really good sales item. This is something that I picked up when I went to Orlando to visit my aunt. You can go back and look at my videos, and you can see the video where I went to the flea market with my aunt. And this is one of the items that I found in the flea market. And what this is a World War II complete officer's uniform. It had the pants, the shirt, the tie, the jacket, and two of the hats. These kind of hats right here with it. There were two of them. And it sold for $256.50. I think I paid $25 for this entire outfit, but you can see it belonged to someone. Their name was still written in the tag, and it has their last four of their social security number on there. And then I made sure and took good pictures to make sure that I showed the patches that were on the uniform. And this uniform was in pristine condition. Also, when you're taking pictures of clothing items, make sure and measure across the chest and then lengthwise so that they'll have a good idea, especially if it's something somebody's going to wear. And this one I don't know if somebody's buying this for a Halloween costume or if they're going to be using it in a museum or what they're going to be doing with it. But I was very happy to make this sale for $256.56. So I guess I could say that would be my sale of the week for items that I have sold. Now this item has been sitting in my store for a little while. This is a air purification system within it. It has like ceramic plates inside. I'm not real sure how this works. I've never seen one of these before I got this one, but it's an air purification system, and I paid like $5 for it, and it sold for $40.50. I bought this at a yard sale for $5, and it has been sitting in my inventory for a considerable while, so that's not one of the fastest sellers that I've ever had. This item is a haircut kit. And this haircut kit is a 21 piece, and I look at that, I even misspelled piece. It's a 21 piece haircut kit, and it came with the clippers and several different size, I don't know what you would call these, guards, clipper guard, and scissors, and a little book that went with it, and it sold for $49.50. I bought this at a yard sale, I believe, for $5 as well. And I also sold a Sony PlayStation 1. This is a vintage Sony PlayStation 1. There were actually two versions of the Sony PlayStation 1. There was this version, and then there was another version that you may be more familiar with. But this one sold for $62.99 with 3 games, controller, memory card, and power and AV cable. So I think I probably have about $30 into this, so it wasn't a whole lot of profit, but $62.99. And it sold, it's been in my inventory for a considerable amount of time, so it took a little while to sell. It wasn't a quick seller, but it did sell, so I was glad to get that sold. I also sold a Super Nintendo. The Super NES is original game system from the 1980s and 90s. They were pretty popular back then. But the Super Nintendo, I've got several of them listed in my store. And if you are watching this later after the live stream, you can go into my store, and if you'll do a search on Nintendo or Super Nintendo, you can pull up any Super Nintendos that I still have listed. I have several listed in my store, and I have several different types of consoles. So if you are interested in any other type of console, then you can go there and look at that, look for that as well. So go to the link in my description below and click on that, and you'll be able to see any items that I have listed in my store. This sold, it's Desperate Housewife's PC game. This is a PC game that I bought a whole box of these PC games, and I've just been kind of slow in getting these listed, but I did get this one listed not too long ago, and it sold pretty quickly. So it's only been in my store for a couple of weeks, but the whole box that I bought, it was like a big container full, maybe 40, 50 of these DVD, CD-ROM PC games. Still have a lot of them that need to be listed, but the whole box of games was only like $10, and I've already made, well, I've made most of my money. Well, I've made all my money back on several times over, and so this is just gravy here. This is that Honeywell air purifier that I mentioned in my when I was talking earlier. This is the one that I didn't use the white background on, but it sold for $37.80. This, I was actually at this charity yard sale that had brought this to list in the yard sale, and I started looking it up and realized that it had some value, so I went ahead and listed it right there while I was sitting in the church sanctuary, and so that got sold for $37.80, and this was actually something I only paid like $3 for. So that's got a pretty good turnaround on that. The next item that I sold was this soft Xbox console. It's original Xbox with 3 games. Now, on these games, I did not have the original cases, but there are a couple of good titles here. There's the Rainbow Six, Lockdown, and NCAA. People seem to prefer the football games that are like college football rather than the NBA, NFL. I'm sorry. And then you got Head Coach here. But these are all games that I bought for next to nothing at yard sales and stuff like that. And this console is one of the ones that I did the repair on, because you can see on the bottom side that it was opened up. But it sold for $139.50. So that was a pretty good sale. So I have probably 25 into the console, and then another 10 into the games and the controller. So probably about $40 if you count the power and AV cables that I had to buy total into that. So that was not too bad. $40 into $140. Not bad at all. I'll take that any day. How about you? Now this item has been sitting in my store for quite some time. It is was a universal micro USB keyboard with leather case. This is a yard sale find that I picked up for $1. It's just a keyboard case for a 7-inch or an 8-inch tablet. And it looks like you can just plug it right into the tablet and use your tablet with the keyboard. So that sold for $11.69. And this is something that I picked up recently at a yard sale last weekend. This is a Lexmark Christmas Holiday Village. This is the row house, and when I took pictures of it, I just turned the lights dim a little bit, and whoops, and I made sure I took pictures of with the light inside of it, illuminating the inside of the house. So you can see inside the windows, and you can see the stained glass, and it was actually in pretty good condition. And when I first listed this, I made a mistake. I only listed it for about $35, and then I double checked myself, and I realized that I had underpriced it, and so I relisted it for $69. And of course, there's 10% off on everything in my store, and it didn't sit for very long. So about a week is how long it took to sell. And I think $62.99. I paid $40 for 6 of these, and so I've got them all listed, and so I've already made my $40 plus back, and I still have 5 more of them yet to sell. So that was a pretty good pickup. I picked this up at a yard sale as well. This is a Halloween costume. If you got any Halloween stuff in your inventory that is not moving, go and end it and relist it. But this is a Ghostbusters Halloween costume jumpsuit, and it's got the inflatable pack on the back, which is, I guess that's the thing that the ghost sucks up the ghost with it. But this was the Ghostbusters, and it's made by Ruby, which is one of the well-known costume companies. But this one sold for $40.50, and I paid $5 for it, along with several other costumes. So $40 is a pretty good price for that. This item is sold on the, what day did it sell? October 8th. It is a RCA rechargeable portable DVD player, and it was in the original box. So I had these Thomas the Train DVDs, and I figured there's got to be some mom or dad out there that would like to have DVDs with their DVD player that they can share, let their children watch and keep their children occupied with. This one sat in my store for a little while, which was kind of surprising because they basically got the DVDs for free, because the DVD player itself was worth what I was listing it for. So that they were really just getting a bonus by getting the DVDs with it. But this was in the box. It was in new condition, but it wasn't new. It was like open box. It sold for $40.50, and I picked this up at a yard sale for $5. And I'll show you the video that I took when I listed it. Videos always help to sell items. So if you haven't been using the video feature on your listings, then I strongly encourage you to start doing so, because it has really helped some of my items sell that may have been sitting, that may sit for a while. I don't know how long is the longest that you can put a video on to your listing, or how long the video you can do. But I think the longest video that I've ever posted on one of my listings was somewhere around a minute and a half. I try to keep them under 2 minutes if at all possible. I don't think I've had any that, I know I haven't had any that have gone over a minute and a half. But this is an item that has been sitting in my store for a little while. I paid $1 for this at a yard sale, and this is a compressor sustained guitar pedal, and it was new in open box. So it was in very good condition, in new condition actually, and it sold for $35, which was a pretty good turnaround on my investment. And this item, I expect it to be returned. The buyer of this item actually purchased the Just Dance 19, and I inadvertently sent them Just Dance 18, which was actually I sent them they bought Just they bought Just Dance 18 18 for the Switch, and I sent them Just Dance 19, which is this picture right here. This is the one I sent. I should have sent the other one. So what we did was they contacted me and said I didn't get my item that I purchased. So what I ended up doing is they ended up purchasing the Just Dance 19, and so I sent them the Just Dance 18, and I expect them to be returning this one. So that was my mistake. I've never sent the wrong item to a buyer before. That was my first time. But I will definitely be more careful in the future when sending items in the mail, making sure that the items that I send are actually the items that were purchased. And I'm usually pretty good about that, but these two items were just so similar that I didn't realize it at the time that I was packing it. I sold this Sony Mavica digital camera. It's an older digital camera. It's only like 1.2 megapixels, which is not very much at all. So I guess the person who would be interested in buying this would be someone who would be interested in buying it because it's vintage. But I took pictures with the camera, and I took a photo of the back of the camera to show that it actually did work. This is before I really started using the video feature, but if I had to do it over again and list this again, I would definitely be using the video feature with this. I think I paid $10 for this camera, and it sold for $50.39. So that was a pretty good investment, pretty good turnaround. And I sold this. This was sitting in my store for a while as well. And this is, I actually posted a video on this listing, and for some reason it got removed, or it went away. But this is a Tickle Me Elmo doll. If you remember, these were very popular not too long ago. There was a craze. Well, I shouldn't say not too long ago. It's probably been about 8 or 9 years ago now. So that is quite long ago. But you can see the tag. Someone had listed for $5 at some point, but I think I picked this up at a yard sale for $1. But somebody paid $5 for it, but it's from 1995. And it makes the tickle noise. So I did make a video on this one showing that it actually did make the tickle noise and worked. But for some reason that video disappeared, and it sold for $22.49. Now this is an item that I bought at a thrift store. I started looking it up and realized that this item, I bought this when I went to Florida, as a matter of fact, when I went to thrifting with my aunt, Rebecca. And when I bought it, it didn't have these little bullet things, and it didn't have the rockets, I should say, and it didn't have this green Power Ranger that goes with it, and it didn't have this little thing down here is a remote control that makes it go forward and backward and move around. So I paid $3 for it at the thrift store. And then I got home and looked it up, and I saw that it had more value if you had the bullets and the green Power Ranger. So what I did was I went on eBay and I bought those separately. So I've got about $12 into the Power Ranger and the bullets, and I had the money that I put into the Dragon Zord, and so it sold for $80.10. And it actually does some pretty neat stuff. I'll show you the video on that one. So that you can see that there is a good benefit to having a video on your listings. If you're not doing that, again, I encourage you to post videos on listings where you have mechanical stuff or electronic stuff, so that you can show the potential buyers that it actually works. Because a lot of times people don't buy stuff off of eBay because they've been burned in the past, and they purchased stuff that didn't work, and then they got it and they had to open a return and return the item. So also, if you take a picture of something and you show that it works, and then that kind of stops any of these scammers from saying that it didn't work, and them coming back later and trying to say that something didn't work. So there's just so many benefits to using that option. And if you're using that, let me know. I'd be interested in kind of hearing how many of you are actually using this. Now, this is a very dirty skipper outfit, and it looks like it's broken. The tie on it is broken, but this one was in very bad condition. The zipper still worked, but the rest of the dress was in pretty bad, in dirty condition. And it was the reason it sold for $21.60 is because it's vintage. It's from 1963 skipper. But this item came from a thrift store where I bought a whole box full of it was a vintage box that had vintage Barbies in it from the 1950s. There were two. There was Barbie and her friend Midge, and then there was Skipper, and then there were a bunch of outfits, and this is one of the outfits, and it sold for $21.60. So I paid $50 for that whole box full of stuff. You can see there's some stain on this dress, even in the condition it was in, because it's vintage, because it's old. People are willing to pay top dollar or pay good money for stuff that's just not any good. Looks like I'm getting pretty close to my hour. I'm at 59 minutes and 59 seconds, so I'm at 1 hour right now. So I think that I will conclude my live stream. I am looking forward to getting on the road. I'll be heading out on Thursday, and I'll be going to Pennsylvania. That'll be my first stop. I'll be going to Renee and Todd's place and visiting with them, and we've got lots of things planned that we're going to be doing while I'm there. I'll be there for about 3 days, and my live stream, again, I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, my next live stream will be from Pennsylvania, and I'll be doing it on next Sunday at 6:30. So make sure and enjoy us. Thank you, Ping G. Make sure and come and visit us next week at 6:30 and watch our live stream. I'll be with Renee and Todd. Then after I leave Renee and Todd, I think I'm scheduled to leave on Tuesday of the following week. I will be headed to Chicago. I'll be visiting my son there in Chicago. I won't be doing any live streams from Chicago, but I will be getting to visit with my son. His name is Justin, and I'll be spending some time with him and his wife, Jillian, while I'm up there. One of the things that I want to do while I'm in Chicago, I want to go to an authentic Italian restaurant and have some Chicago pizza, because I heard that Chicago pizza is the best pizza in the world. In the world. So I'm looking forward to trying out that Chicago pizza. And but I'll be putting together some content. I'll be doing some videos while I'm up there in Chicago. I'm sure there will be some things that I can take some video of and share some of my trip with you all. But when I get back, I plan on putting out a lot more content from my trip. So be sure and stay tuned for that. Also, this week I will probably be putting out another video on my van. I did a couple of additional things to get my van ready for the trip. I put in a solar generator that I had purchased. It's called a Blue Eddy. And I got a little refrigerator that I'll be taking with me. And so I'm going to be kind of demonstrating how I'm going to be using those on my next video. So join me this week and come and watch my video. And until next Sunday, I won't be seeing you again, but I will be having that video. So make sure you watch that and come back and watch my live stream on Sunday. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. I thank the Rats, Renee and Todd, Sir Alfred. I'm not sure if you're still with us, but I thank you for joining us tonight. Ping G, thank you for joining us. Marty Baker, thanks for joining. It's good to see you all tonight. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope that your week is as wonderful as well. Hope the weather is great and that you have a great week. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for now. Enjoyed spending time with you guys and love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.